Hi, it's me, the neurodivergent Gen X software engineer, still unemployed, with major depression and anxiety. But some call me Tim. And I saw an article yesterday talking about AI and its effects on everything. It was specifically about teaching, how teachers are just losing their minds because students aren't trying anymore. They just have ChatGPT write their papers or whatever. AI is the flavor of the month. That's it. And so the teachers are trying to come up with AI-proof courses. They ask very vague questions or have oral exams where you have to come in and talk about what you know, which I think is interesting, but it's also scary because not every teacher is willing or even capable of doing that, right? You can't, I'm sure middle school, high school classrooms are crowded and the teachers don't have time to do this with everyone, and they certainly don't have the ability to just make up their lesson plans. I'm sure they still have to follow things. Anyway, what I'm saying is the thing that concerned me the most reading the article was where they said that the study showed that it's that students are losing the desire to learn. That really scares me. That is a problem. Yes, it's starting at software. You can see it's starting with software. It's starting with any area of the world, any job that uses computers and creativity, or computers and knowledge, programming, digital art, games, they are using AI to just make garbage, worse garbage than normal. I mean, it's already bad. You can already see how everything sucks. Everything is slow. Everything breaks. Nothing works. We have no desire. We don't even bat an eye when we got to reopen the web page or just refresh it because it's not working. Or, we just live with these things. Well, that's weird. Every time I open this app, I have to toggle this switch again or it doesn't work. And, oh, look, it broke. I'll just delete it and reinstall it. Like, we shouldn't have to do any of that. Before the internet, you couldn't do that. They didn't have updates and online patches and stuff. So things just had to work. So I tried vibe coding. I tried just having the code written for me and just doing it. And after a week, it only took a week, I felt myself not wanting to think anymore. I'm like, I'll just let it figure it out. I don't care if it takes it 4 hours and I have to try 10 different times. I'm cool. I'll just walk over, type a little question, and go off. And go play a video game or, do some other mundane task. Well, it worked, and that seemed great until I tried to code again. I literally was like, wait, how do I do this? And I felt myself reaching for just write me a for loop. It's like, whoa, no, that's not how this works. Because what if, here's the thing, a lot of people, the new model just dropped 5, ChatGPT 5, and yep, I'm tired. The model dropped, GPT-5. They got rid of all the old models. People had spent months fine-tuning their applications and their workflow and their stuff for this specific model, and they just blew it away and said, here's a shittier one. And maybe it's not as bad, but it doesn't work in the same way. So it appears to be 10 times worse. But that's the thing. When you rely on AI, what happens when AI is gone? What happens if we get hit by an EMP and all the electronics are gone? What happens if there's a scandal and this AI company just goes out of business? Or what happens if the United Nations decides that all the data it's been trained on is copyrighted and that's illegal? And they have to delete everything and start again. What if they find out they can't train it well without stealing all the training data? Or what if this dream of artificial general intelligence that will be able to think and solve its own problems and invent new ways. What if it just doesn't work? What if it doesn't work? What if we just never get to that point? So AI is useful, but it can't do new things. That means that people won't know how to do new things, and AI can only do what's already been done. And then what? We just crumble. It approaches idiocracy more and more. It's just so bad. It's so bad. The willingness to learn, the desire to learn. I have it. But I recognize that AI is a tool like a microwave. You know, when microwaves came out, they tried to microwave. I was a kid when we got one. But I watched, they tried to bake a cake. Let's make a roast. We're going to make bacon. Oh God, microwave bacon. It was bad. Like then they started inventing like little racks you would use and like all this stuff that would make it better. So you could just, use it. And eventually, they didn't do that anymore. They started going back to cooking things the normal way because it was dumb to try and cook a roast for an hour in a microwave. Like it just didn't work, right? And then we discovered microwaves are good for Hot Pockets and pizza rolls and frozen pizzas and heating things up and defrosting things. And that's about it. Popcorn, right? There's a few things a microwave is great for, but you don't cook everything in it, and that's okay. You're not supposed to. That's what AI is. AI is just a new microwave. It's a very good. I don't want to get too technical on you, but something I've found that's very good is having it do a mundane task that I don't really know how to do, like a shell script for something, or could you take this file and find all the occurrences of such and such. Or here's a snippet. Give me a little bit of code that will do a regex, which is this complicated thing. Stuff like that. My Vim config file isn't right. And I paste it in. It's like, oh, hey, this thing seems weird. Oh, okay. But you know what I don't do is just cut and paste that in. I ask it why. I ask it for its sources. I type it in myself. I see if that's right, because a lot of times it's not. I mean, AI just makes up things. When you're coding, it's really obvious because it's like, just put this magical code in there that will solve all your problems. And it's like, yeah, you just invented that. It doesn't exist. I wish it did, but it doesn't. And it's like, oh, my bad. Haha, sorry. Let me just guess. I'll just keep guessing until something works, right? That's what a junior developer does. So you're basically relying on a junior developer who really doesn't know what they're doing to do all your code for you. And you stop being able to check it for correctness because you don't remember how shit works anymore. It's very bad. So anyone out there, please put the AI to the side and use it like Jarvis. Don't give it all the power. So you still have to be Tony Stark. You still have to use the AI tool as a tool, not as a replacement. And do I say this with a little anger and disdain? Of course, because I have no job, because AI has made so many people lose their jobs that it's impossible to get a new one. I mean, no one wants to hire a senior developer because we're too expensive. Nobody wants to hire a junior engineer because they can have AI do it. So junior engineers are going to stop going to school for software development. They're going to shy away from IT, anything to do with computers. What happens, we're gambling a lot of our future on the fact that these companies with closed source proprietary shit are just going to do the right thing. Because we know that that's what happens when a technology company becomes billions and billions of dollars worth of, when they're worth billions and billions of dollars, they sure do the right thing and give back to the world. So I guess what I'm saying is put the AI to the side and can think for yourself. Peace.